Rick, and this is Straight Talk on Scripture. Thanks for joining me. And if you are enjoying these videos, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Well, what I want to talk about today is this. How come many of us, myself included, we make decisions, we make our mind up, and then a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, we're not doing it anymore. What we made our mind up to do, we have quit. And I think I'm not alone. I think a lot of us do that we decide to go on a diet, we decide to work out, we decide, to start a hobby, and we just don't follow through. Well, I believe I have insight in this that it's been a help for me, so I believe it'll be a help for you. How many of you have seen the Rocky movies? I'm a big fan of the Rocky movies. And in the Rocky movies, Rocky defeated opponents that were oftentimes much stronger than he was, or much more skilled. And he was able to defeat them. And this is the reason. Because Rocky had what we call heart. In other words, he believed, he was convicted in his innermost being that he could do it. And because of that, it put something in him that refused to quit. And many times we saw him victorious. Brothers and sisters, what the scripture says, and I've got a great scripture for this. It's in Proverbs 23:7. It says, as a man thinks of himself in his heart, so he is. And you see, your mind is your intellect. It's where you gather information and you make decisions and sometimes change your mind. Do I want to buy a new car? Do I not want to buy a new car? Your mind gathers information and you make decisions based on that information, and that changes, and that's okay. But the heart, you see, the heart is the center of our being. And when we decide something in our heart, that's when it sticks. You see, a lot of us start things and never finish it because we made our mind up and then we changed our mind because it wasn't a heart decision. When you make a heart decision, when in the center of your being, you know that this is something that is true and that you're going to do it, I would be willing to just bet that most of you are successful when you get to that point. I'll give you an example. I like chocolate ice cream. Sometimes I like vanilla. Sometimes I don't like any ice cream. I change my mind a lot. When I go out to eat at a restaurant and everybody's ordering, I may change my mind 6 or 7 times before I order. But when my heart fell in love with my wife, Linda, and my daughters, you see, that was a heart decision, and that was permanent. So why do we often decide to do something and then quit? Because you didn't purpose in your heart yet to do it. And I believe this. When you get to the place where you purpose in your heart to do something, whether it's lose weight, whether it's be healthier, whether it's be a better person, whether it's exercise, whether it's being kinder, when it becomes a heart decision, when you purpose it in your heart, in your innermost being, that's when you're going to be successful. Well, I hope I've given you something to think about. Remember, with Jesus, there's always hope, there's always love. God bless you. I'll see you soon.